It happens in a blink. That exact second when your video is finally ready, edited, exported, sitting silently in your folder like a loaded decision waiting to be released. And this is where most people think the work is over, but in reality, this is where one of the most critical phases begins, because uploading a video is not a passive action. It's a strategic launch, a calculated move where every small detail can either amplify your reach or bury your content before it even gets a chance. Because here's what most beginners never fully realize. The way you upload your video directly affects how YouTube understands it, categorizes it, and decides who to show it to. And this entire process happens quietly, in the background, within minutes of publishing, which means the decisions you make during upload are not just technical. They are foundational. It starts with the title. Not just words, but positioning, framing, and intention. Because a title is not meant to describe your video, it's meant to sell the click, to create curiosity without confusion, to make the viewer feel like they're about to miss something important if they don't watch. And this balance is harder than it looks because too vague and people ignore it. Too obvious and it feels predictable. Then comes the thumbnail, the visual trigger, the first emotional signal, the thing the brain processes before it even reads your title. And this is where simplicity beats complexity every single time, where one clear idea, one strong expression, one focused message outperforms cluttered designs, because attention doesn't reward detail, it rewards clarity. And then, quietly but powerfully, comes SEO, not the outdated idea of stuffing keywords, but the strategic placement of relevant phrases in your title, description, and tags that help YouTube understand the context of your content. Because before your video reaches a wide audience, it first needs to be tested on a small, relevant group, and clarity helps that process happen faster and more accurately. Your description becomes more than just text. It becomes a signal, a reinforcement of what your video is about, a place where you naturally include keywords, context, and even subtle calls to action, not aggressively but intelligently, guiding both the algorithm and the viewer at the same time. Timing. Another factor most people ignore, yet it quietly influences your initial performance, because uploading when your potential audience is active increases the chances of early engagement, and early engagement is what tells the algorithm this might be worth pushing further, creating that first ripple effect that can grow into something bigger. And then comes the moment of publishing, that click, that release, and instantly, your video enters a testing phase, where YouTube shows it to a small audience, watches how they respond, measures click-through rate, retention, engagement, and based on those signals, decides whether your content deserves more visibility or not. This is why the first few hours matter, not because they define your entire video's future, but because they create initial momentum, and creators who understand this don't just upload and disappear, they stay active, they respond to comments, they engage with their audience, they create activity around their video, signaling that something is happening here. But here's the deeper insight. The goal is not to hack the algorithm, it's to align with it, to understand that the platform is designed to promote content that people genuinely respond to, which means your real focus should always come back to the viewer, what they feel, what they click, what they watch, what they share. And once you start treating uploading not as the final step, but as a strategic launch, as a moment where preparation meets opportunity, everything changes. You're no longer just posting videos, you're positioning them, giving them the best possible chance to be seen, to be watched, to grow. And in that shift, you step into a level of creation that most people never reach. If you want, next I'll continue with a piece. Part 8. Secrets of viral videos, audience psychology, and why some content explodes overnight. In the same ultra-cinematic style,